Suppose, as in the example in the preceding section, that a population of registered voters contains 40% registered Republicans and that 60% of registered Republicans typically vote for the Republican candidate.
Okay, just 1 second. So 40% of this population are registered Republicans, 60% of ours vote R. Okay?
Only 10% of the voters who are not registered Republicans are likely to vote for the Republican candidate.
10% non-Rs vote R. Okay. All right.
A voter exits from the voting booth and announces that she has voted for the Republican candidate.
Okay, so voter X is chosen at random, and voter X announces voted R. Okay, and we're going to take her word for it. Okay.
What is the probability that she is a registered Republican?
Okay, so now we want to know the probability that X is R, given that X voted R. Okay? So here is what's going to stand in for P in Bayes' theorem. Here is what's going to stand in for Q. So in other words, we want to know the probability that X is a registered Republican given that X in fact voted R, given this distribution that makes the problem. Okay, so first of all, we're going to need the prior probability that X is a registered Republican. That is going to be the probability of that the person is an R times the probability that the person voted R given that they're a registered Republican. All of that over that same probability that they're an R times the probability that they voted R, given that they're an R, plus probability that they're a not R times the probability that they voted R, given that they're not an R. And all that will give us the new probability that the person is a Republican, given that they in fact voted R. Okay, so let's insert the numbers here. The prior probability they're a Republican is 0.4. 40% are Republicans. The probability that they voted Republican, given that they're a Republican, is 0.6 over the probability, that same number, plus the probability that they're not a Republican. That would be 0.6, since the negation of 40% would be 60%, times the probability that they voted Republican, given that they're not a registered Republican. That number we were given as 0.1. And so now, I simply do the math. 0.24 over 0.24 plus 0.06, 0.24 over 0.3, and that's 8 over 10, that's 0.8.